Namaskar. Good morning to all my students in Tiak High School Karad. I am Mrs.Bhosale MS for class 8. Today we are going to study lesson number 7, variation. Today we see part 1. What is variation? Variation means to vary. In variation there is a two quantities and we compare these two quantities and we observe their changes. Variation, the changing of variable parameters. In simple language we say that if one quantity changes with the change in the related quantity, then change is called variation. Variation means to vary, to keep on, compare to quantities changing, and we see changes between them. This phenomenon is known as a variation. There are two types of variation: direct variation and inverse variation. In variation, we say that we compare two quantities and observe their changes, and by observing their changes we come some conclusion. When both quantities vary simultaneously, we say that it is direct variation, and when both quantities varies differently, it is known as inverse variation. So what is mean by simultaneously and what is mean by differently? So let us study. First we see direct variation. In direct variation, here x and y are two quantities. Here x and y are two quantities or two variables. For direct variation, in the slide we see x directly proportional to y, and to show proportional, here we use a mathematically symbol. It is a alpha letter, and we denote this variation by alpha letter. This is a Greek letter, and to show variation between two variables we use this mathematical symbol. It is used to denote variation. So alpha is a symbol of variation. But when we have to solve examples on variation, it is also direct variation or also on inverse variation, we have to change this alpha letter. We have to convert this variation alpha letter into equation. So x, in direct variation, x directly proportional to y, and x and y are two variables. We use mathematical symbol. To solve examples, we have to convert this statement into mathematical equation. That is, here we see x is equal to ky. See, x proportional to y, and this convert to x is equal to ky. So alpha letter is changes is equal to k, and k, here k is a constant. When we change the position of y, we see x upon y is equal to k, and there is a one condition, that is k is not equal to 0. When we have to find the value of constant, we have divided both variables x upon y, and here x is equal to ky. It is the equation of direct variation. So this we see x directly proportional to y, alpha is changes, and we write x is equal to ky, k is a constant, and x is equal to ky is the equation of direct variation. And when we have the value of x and y, we find the value of k by dividing both variables. Here the following statements are written by using the symbol of variation. Here we see first statement: area of circle directly proportional to square of its radius. We know that area of circle, it is denoted by capital A and radius is denoted by R. We know that when radius is increases, area of circle is also increases. That means here we see both quantities changes simultaneously. When radius is in decreases, area of circle is decreases. So by using mathematical symbol, it is written as A directly proportional to R square or square of radius. Here we see another statement. Pressure of liquid P varies directly as the depth D of the liquid. In mathematical symbol, it is written as P directly proportional to D. Here we see another sum statement. Circumference of circle directly proportional to its radius. We know that radius increases, circumference is increases, radius decreases, circumference is decreases. Circumference of circle, that means C is equal to 2 pi r. It is the formula for circumference. So by mathematically symbol, we write that C directly proportional to R. And the last statement, number of books and their cost in rupees are directly varies. We see that number of books is directly proportional to their cost. That means N directly proportional to R. So today we are study direct variation. First, we see the definition of variation, types of variation, then the direct variation, their mathematical expression, their mathematical equation, and some statements that we use by mathematical symbol. We write this statement. So, students, here we see today's homework. What is mean by variation? What are two types of variation? Which is the symbol of variation? And here we see some statements and you write the following statements by using the symbol of variation. This homework is written in your notebook, and in our next video we see the examples of direct variation and to solve these examples. Thank you for watching this